So it's time to answer the question that everyone has been asking. How do you remain in this state? How do you remain in pure presence? How do you remain as pure life? No attachments, no descriptions, no labels, nothing. The more and more we move through this material world, it seems that the unconsciousness returns. We fall asleep once again to the dream. That is what I'm going to talk about in this video. If you haven't seen my first video about how I healed my body from years of anxiety, tension, and fear, how I healed it and ended my suffering. And this video came to me from a few questions that I received about that video. I'll share them with you right now. If you can take a look at these questions, they seem to all be centered around the same thing: remaining in this state when thoughts in the material world, life, seem to come back and take over or arise. If you haven't checked out that first video, I suggest you do, so you can get a little more background information and to understand where I'm really taking this video in what direction we're going. We're going to talk about how do we remain in this state of being. What I want to talk about and first say is it may seem as if we continue to go unconscious again. It may seem as if we fall back asleep. Now, I want you to remember that word, seem. Because one thing that you must understand, but you also must see directly, feel directly, is what I'm about to share with you, and is one of the most important things for us to awaken, in us to end years of suffering, anxiety, fear, and transcend everything that we have been at the mercy of, our insecurities, our doubts, everything. This is one of the major things, the major foundation in understanding. Now, I say understanding, but I want you to know that logic is not needed for this. These are not beliefs of mine. This is an experiential truth of everyone. One of the comments mentioned, how do I stay present? Or how do you do this for the long run? How do you reach this 0 point state of being? One of the most confusing but most honest experiential truths is that we are only ever present. Now, I want you to understand this. I want you to see this and feel this directly. We are only ever present. So when somebody says, or you feel, how do I remain present? It feels like I cannot be present. The truth of the matter is, there is nothing else but pure presence. So you can rest in that with a little solitude, knowing this, but most importantly, feeling this. I want to point you to this right now because these questions that I got from many of how will be answered when you realize that the how you're searching for, the elusive how, is what you already are. And this is the beauty of it. The most beautiful, astonishing, profound thing of all of this, of a waking up, of detachment from everything you have believed yourself to be, is that the presence that I speak of, the returning to being that I speak of in the first video, isn't something you necessarily do. It feels like you are doing it. It feels like it takes some work or some force, but it doesn't. See, we have been programmed, most of us, designed and structured to believe everything that seems to be outside of us is truly life. All of the motion, all of the noise, all of the sensations, all of the doing seems to be what life is really made of. But what life really is, what you really are, is not that. And essentially you are. And I'll explain this in another video. But for right now, is you are not that, and you are not limited to that. You are that in which all of it arises. So when we speak of how do I return to my being, how do I return to the zero state, the 0 point state of consciousness, there's no returning somewhere that you haven't left. The place you are looking for is the place you are looking from. What needs to actually occur is an awakening to truth. Yes. See, it feels like a struggle. A lot of this enlightenment or spiritual awakening feel like a struggle. To end my body tension, to have it subside naturally in the fear and anxiety that I suffered, well, in the beginning, I stood exactly where these questions came from. How do I do it for the long run? I would have glimpses, I would have peaks in the beginning, but then it would feel like it would just disappear. I would fall back asleep, and the tension would arise, and the fear would arise, and anxiety, and back in the cycle I was. It wasn't until I seen the truth in the nature of reality, the nature of myself, and the nature of everything that we consider life to be. And what that reveals to you is there's no present moment. There's no person who needs to work on being present. You are life itself. You are presence. You are being. There must be a complete shift in understanding that your human form, all of the things you believe moving on the outside of you, are not essentially what you are limited to. They are within you. You are the great observer, the great witness, the great knower that isn't in the form of a body. It isn't a gender. It doesn't have a name, and it definitely doesn't have a personality. It is silent, and it is knowing. It is pure awareness. I could sit here and talk all day to you guys about this. But it is very hard. I have to be honest. It is very hard to have you feel this through a single video. And this is why I offer and will continue and grow, and later on down the road continue to offer to work with you guys one-on-one, because this is an investigation that can help when you have a guiding hand along the way. It's very hard to describe this because you can't, essentially. That's why I'm doing my best. But most importantly, the main thing is it's very hard to describe it to you and have you feel it. But that is the foundation of truth that I need you to understand. Those who are asking, how do I do this? It's not about how. It is about awakening and transcending, changing that level of consciousness permanently. There is a revealing, okay? There is a blindfold being ripped off of your face that has been covering for so long. And then the question of the unconsciousness returns, the struggle of thoughts return. It's not that they return. It's that you have been believing you are them. You have been limiting your infiniteness, the infinite being that you are, I should say. Eternity, timeless awareness, to being something finite, limited, and contracted. It's the difference between living in an altered state of consciousness as a somebody or being the whole of life. We never stop being the whole of life. That's what awakening is. We awaken to the illusion that we have been asleep in for so long, the dream that we have been unconscious to. We wake up within it, and now we're having a lucid dream. But we realize that we are the dreamer. Every single one of us as a collective, seeming to be individual. And when that body pain and that tension arises, that fear and anxiety is when you are living through the altered state of the contracted individual. It's a transcendence. It's a detachment. Every name, label, description, and feeling and emotion that you think you are at any given time, you're not. You are the one that notices it, the one that it arises within, life itself. That is one of the great foundations of understanding this truth when you ask the question of how do I encapsulate this? How do I live in this state of being? It's a transcendence. It is an awakening to the core. It's not that everything that you have believed yourself to be, thoughts, emotions, sensations, fear, and everything, it's not that they disappear. It's not that they won't arise on occasion. I still notice this myself. But when they arise, you have the power of, number one, feeling, and number two, seeing directly. Not with logic. Logic can be there, but this isn't formed by logic or understanding. This is formed by feeling and seeing and direct experience. And then you may understand to a certain point that you are the infinite being. I am the whole of consciousness. And that is what you've always been. So it's not necessarily about how do I do this. It's about returning here, seeing everything else that you have once suffered, that you have once felt caged in, trapped down by. You awaken to it not being essentially what you are. So there's no techniques. There's no books to read. And if you actually turn this into a forceful doing, which I have, all you do is struggle more. The best thing that you can gain from this video is your release. Release right now. Surrender to your being, not your being, the being of life. All that you see, feel, notice, hear, everything around you, everything that you are aware of is you. You give life to everything because you are life. And this is the most foundational understanding. So I really hope this helped you guys. I'm not going to go into techniques because there's nothing. It's just simply transcending it all, waking up when you go through work, when you drive in traffic, when you move through life, and it feels as if your anger is taking over, your fear and anxiety and your attention's back. Relax. Feel the source that you are of knowing everything, of being everything, but not being a single thing, the knower of all. No more altered state of consciousness, the contracted human form. I hope this helped you guys. And thank you everyone that has subscribed. This channel has gained quite a few subscribers in the past week, well over 1,000. And I just want to say thank you, Truth Seekers, because here, this is what we talk about here. This is what we bring up here. This is the investigation that we go into here with direct pointers, conversations, and contemplations. This is what this channel is all about. It is about that transcendence. It is about transmuting everything we once thought we were before, changing our understanding and feeling directly that we are the whole of life. I encourage you to check out memberships. It is an option to go deeper with me for those who may feel they want to strengthen their journey or have a guiding hand along their journey. That is why I started this channel, to help others that felt lost, trapped, and that were at the mercy of what they believed they were suffering, to help you awaken from your slumber. So thank you guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.